I've been on this earth for 84 years, and if there is one thing I've learned, it's that most women spend their entire lives lying to themselves about their marriages. I'm not here to give you sweet, comforted words or tell you that everything will be fine if you just try a little harder. I'm here because I'm 84. I've seen 1,000 marriages begin and 1,000 more crumble. And I'm tired of seeing women settle for a life of quiet desperation. What I am about to say will make you uncomfortable. It might even make you angry. But if you are over 45 and starting to feel that cold, hollow ache in your chest when you look across the dinner table, you need to hear this before it is too late. The first hard truth is this: most of you are married to strangers. You've spent 20 or 30 years sharing a bed, a bank account, and a bathroom with a man. Yet you have no idea who he really is, and he certainly doesn't know you. You've become experts at managing a household, but you've become failures at maintaining a soul. You talk about the kids, the bills, the lawn, and the upcoming holiday. But when was the last time you had a conversation that made your heart race? When was the last time he looked at you and actually saw the woman you've become, rather than the ghost of the girl he married in 1995? Society tells women that marriage is a marathon, and the only goal is to reach the finish line without quitting. We are taught that endurance is a virtue. We are told that working on it is the highest calling of a wife. But let me tell you something from the perspective of 8 decades. Endurance is for athletes, not for lovers. Staying in a marriage that has been dead for 10 years isn't a sign of strength, it's a sign of fear. You aren't staying because you love him. You're staying because you're terrified of the silence that would follow if he left. You're terrified of what the neighbors would think, what your grown children would say, or worse, that you might actually have to face yourself in the mirror and realize you wasted your best years on a man who treats you like a piece of furniture. Let's talk about intimacy, or the lack of it. I'm not just talking about what happens in the bedroom, though heaven knows, most of you have forgotten what that feels like. I'm talking about the intimacy of being known. At 45, 50, or 60, you are at the peak of your wisdom and your power. Yet many of you have shrunken yourselves to fit into the narrow spaces your husbands allow. You've silenced your opinions to keep the peace. You've ignored your own desires to cater to his moods. And for what? For a man who barely notices when you change your hair, let alone when you change your soul. Marriage is supposed to be a partnership of growth, but for most of you, it has become a cage of stagnation. You are waiting. You are waiting for him to change. You are waiting for the kids to be fully settled. You are waiting for retirement. You are waiting for a permission slip that is never going to come. I am 84 years old and I am telling you, the clock is not your friend. You do not have another 30 years to wait for him to suddenly become the man you wish he was. He is exactly who he has shown you he is for the last 2 decades. Believe him. Stop trying to edit a man who has no interest in being rewritten. It makes you uncomfortable to think that you might be better off alone, doesn't it? We've been conditioned to think that a lonely woman is a tragedy. But I've lived through enough to know that there is no loneliness more soul-crushing than being lonely while someone else is sitting right next to you. Being alone in a house is a choice. Being alone in a marriage is a prison sentence. Many of you stayed for the children. You thought you were protecting them, but what did you actually teach them? You taught your daughters that love looks like sacrifice and self-erasure. You taught your sons that a wife is a servant who doesn't need to be courted or respected once the ring is on the finger. You didn't save them. You gave them a blueprint for their own future misery. If you want to honor your children, show them what a woman who respects herself looks like. Show them that it is never too late to demand more from life. Now some of you will say, "But I made a vow." Yes, you did. But a vow is a two-way street. A vow is a promise to cherish, to honor, and to protect. If he stopped cherishing you years ago, if he honors his hobbies or his career more than your heart, he broke the vow first. You aren't breaking a marriage by speaking up or walking away. You're simply acknowledging that the marriage was already broken. You are just the one with the courage to point at the wreckage. I see women in their 50s trying to fix their marriages by being more attractive, more compliant, or more interesting. You go to therapy alone. You read the books alone. You try to spark a fire with wet wood. Stop. If he wanted to meet you halfway, he would have started walking years ago. You cannot carry the weight of two people's happiness on one pair of shoulders. Your back will break long before his heart opens. The most uncomfortable truth of all is that you are complicit in your own unhappiness. You chose this. You chose it every morning you woke up and decided not to say anything. You chose it every time you swallowed your anger and replaced it with a fake smile. You are the architect of this life. The good news is that if you built the cage, you also hold the key. At 84, I look back and I don't regret the things I did that were unfiltered or bold. I regret the years I spent being polite when I should have been screaming. I regret the times I prioritized a man's ego over my own sanity. You still have time to avoid that regret. You are in the middle of your story, not the end. If your marriage is a source of joy, a place of safety, and a garden of growth, then cherish it with everything you have. Those marriages are rare and beautiful. But if you are watching this and your heart is heavy, if you feel like a ghost in your own home, then stop pretending. Stop lying to your friends, stop lying to your family, and for heaven's sake, stop lying to yourself. Marriage should not be a slow death. It should be a vibrant life. If yours isn't, you have to ask yourself, are you waiting for your life to begin, or are you just waiting for it to be over? Being uncomfortable is the first step toward being free. Don't be afraid of the truth. Be afraid of staying exactly where you are for another 20 years. I know this isn't what they told you in church or at your wedding shower, but I'm 84 and I have no reason to lie to you. I've seen the end of the road and I can tell you that peace is worth more than a hollow marriage. Self-respect is worth more than a comfortable routine. You deserve to be seen. You deserve to be heard. And most importantly, you deserve a life that doesn't make you want to close your eyes and wish you were someone else. The truth is out there right in front of you. Now, what are you going to do about it?